All right, let me know when we're live. Let me know when we're live. We're live?
Mr. Mayor.
All right. It is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023. It is now 6 p.m., and this is a regular City Commission meeting of the City of West Miami. This meeting is called to order. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Let's bow our heads. Lord, we would like to give you thanks for all the daily blessings you bestow upon us. Please continue to watch over and protect our first responders and military personnel. We also ask that you watch over our city employees, elected officials, and administrators so they can continue to serve and make sound decisions on behalf of our city residents. We ask all this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Now for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Item 3, roll call. Mayor Eric Diaz-Padrón.
Here.
Vice Mayor Juan Blanes.
Present.
Commissioner Candida Blanca.
Yes.
Commissioner Ivan Chavez Jr.
Here.
Commissioner Luciano Suarez.
Yes.
Mayor, you have quorum.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 4, presentation of minutes for approval for July 19, 2023, regular commission meeting and preliminary budget.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 5, public comments.
Anyone for public comments? Seeing none. Next item.
Item 6, report of the city manager.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission, and residents. First, I want to bring up Jonathan Kilman from our lobbying team so that he can give us a little recap on the lobbying efforts in Tallahassee, which we had a very successful year, and we're looking for many more successful years on the upcoming session.
Thank you, thank you.
Welcome.
I apologize, I have notes only on my phone today. I'll keep it quick. It's great to be here, Mayor and Commissioners. It's always great to be here in West Miami. We've worked together for a good number of years now. I think we've been quite successful, and I appreciate the support that you've given to our team and both here and coming to Tallahassee and making your presence known. So, okay, I'll cut to it because we want to talk about the state budget and how things turned out. Briefly, I'll mention with over $20 billion in reserves, the state budget moved very swiftly this year. It was increased by $6 billion to $116 billion budget. Notably, there's some significant items like an $850 million state wildlife corridor, a 5% raise for state employees, $300 million for a land preservation program, $382 million for Everglades restoration, $2.5 billion to accelerate road construction projects, and approximately $1.5 billion in tax relief. And of course, plenty of vetoes. But I'm happy to report that we were again successful in bringing home dollars for the potable water project, $1.5 million that made its way back to West Miami, which, as you know, was an incredible success. I know that the project's continuing and moving towards completion, and so I'm very, very happy to be able to report that success once again, and look forward to the challenges for the upcoming year.
Thank you. If anyone has any questions for him, I just want on the record thank thank your team and also thank Senator Ileana Garcia and Representative Debbie Busata Cabrera from our districts for their incredible support, and all the other legislators that make up state delegation and other parts that have been supportive of us in our projects. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Kilman? Mr. Kilman, you're good to go.
Well, again, I thank you for mentioning Senator Garcia and Representative Posada Cabrera. Their support was incredibly instrumental, and without it, we can't get these funds.
And remember to watch TV.
Yes. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. As you all know, and I started this recently, you guys have the manager's report basically in front of you so that you can look at it in on your time, and we will be making sure that we put it up on the webpage. Tomorrow, believe it or not, marks the 3rd month since my start date of May 17th.
So we
In
have
3
lunch.
months, we've accomplished quite a lot. More importantly, we've had 3 very successful events. The recent one is the Back to School Bash that was done in collaboration with Commissioner Cabrera. School Board Member Monica Galushi, I knew I was going to mess up her name, and our Mayor Eric Diaz-Padrón, and you, our City Commission. We distributed over 700 school backpacks and numerous school supplies. I want to take a second and thank our staff and everybody that was involved for the great efforts in putting all this together. I also want to remind you all that tomorrow's school starts very early this year, but it starts tomorrow. We've been busy getting ready. If you go down that street, you'll see that we put up a lot of cones, and we've had a meeting with the principal of Sylvania Elementary to make sure that we have as smooth of a start as we possibly can. The first few days of school are always hectic, and we're very aware of that. We'll have our police out there tomorrow to make sure that we can try to make traffic as painless as possible. Our budget for next year is nearly complete. It will reflect a new organization of departments, personnel, and capital projects. As you all know, you passed the preliminary millage rate back in July, and we anticipate giving you all advanced copies sometime next week and putting it up on the webpage for our residents to be able to look at it before our first meeting in September. In the audience tonight, I have a few of my new people that are on my administration staff, and I'd like to introduce you all formally to the commission and to our residents, starting with my new administrative assistant, Yanara Moreno. If you can please stand when I call you all. Her professionalism and her reserved demeanor is exactly the image that we would like to portray. She will be in charge of my day-to-day activities, my calendar, and she will be a liaison between herself and staff. She is a great asset to the city. I'm ecstatic to have her on board, and she will help us transition to the collective vision that you as a commission and myself as the administrator have for our city. Next up is Gloria Rodriguez, who is my new chief of staff, and she will be the direct liaison between communications, parks, special events, passports, and the community center. She is the person to email if you have an ask, and she will be able to get back to you with the answer, probably quicker than I can, but I would suggest that you email both of us to make sure that we're both in the loop. I'm very honored and pleased that she's joined us, and I look forward to many things from her. Next up is Lizzie Pitzer. She's our new procurement director. We've never had that here in the city before. She's already gotten quite a few bids ready to go and out. We need to hit the ground running come October 1st. We have a lot of monies that have to be given out and contracts initialized before the end of next year, or we lose those grants, and I really don't want to lose any. There has really not been much oversight, and there has been too many times in front of this commission that we've had single source bids or no bid contracts. That we want to make that a thing of the past. That's not the way that I would like to be able to do things, and we will rectify it. Certainly with her help, we will get there. Last is Jenny Polanese. She is our new grant manager who will work on grants to ensure that we never lose a grant again in the future. As this commission knows, during not too recent past, we've had to walk away from $250,000 in grants that I'm aware of. And if it wasn't for her, we had a recent grant that we announced in Cooper Park that we were in jeopardy of losing, and she was lucky to be able to step in and get it done. She is also working to close out a neat street tree grant that we have, that until we close it out, we can't submit for next year's, and I think that's been closed out already. And those are the things that she's been working on. I've also hired, and she's not here tonight, I've also hired a finance director. Her name is Isabel Blanco. She will be replacing the retiring Mercedes Leon. As you all know, Mercedes has been here for quite some time, and she has indicated a desire, she's indicated it to you all, and she's indicated to me a desire to leave to be with her family at the end of September, middle of October. This will be her last budget that she works on with me. We've had a very excellent work ethic between both of us. We are going to go for something that's called the Governmental Financial Office GFOA Award for governmental budgets. We're going to apply for that this year. It'll be a great fitting send-off to her years of service to our community, and we're very proud for what she's done. We also have here Gabby Lopez, who is our new communications manager, who will help us put out a very cohesive message to the community in social media, newsletters, the web page, and all other communication devices that we can think of. She will be the direct liaison for everything in communications. And in her short time here, if you look at our Facebook page and if you look at some of the things that we're putting up, you could see a marked change in how we are addressing communications in our city. Lastly, I have 2 seasoned veterans of our staff here. And the reason why they're here is I wanted to be able to announce proudly that I have promoted Carrie Acosta to the Passport Event Director. She will be responsible for everything to do with passports in the future and for all our citywide events. She served the city admirably as the administrative assistant for quite some time, but it's her time for growth and it's her time for a new challenge, and I'm sure that she's more than capable of getting there. My last person, last but not least, is John Michael, who owes me a batting cage or two. He had technically the role of Parks Director, but in reality, it was a name only, as he only oversaw the after-school and summer camp parks and the things that happened at the West Miami Park. I've charged him, and he's accepted the fact that he has the authority, he will have the authority with the new budget to run, operate, and be directly responsible for our 4 parks and green open spaces. This will provide for a quicker transition and for a better product for our residents in the future. I want to congratulate you all for accepting my beliefs and for coming on board with me and for believing in our shared vision and our goals to make West Miami's community a great community to call home. And with that, my manager's report's done.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or comments for the manager? None? Congratulations to everyone mentioned. I don't want to go down the whole line, but
I want to have a comment.
go ahead.
I have understand you are very smart girls. That's why I have understand. So we expect that, and you know, West Miami is a nice city. It's small, but it's, you know, nice and family oriented. And then you're welcome. And this is a big family. So we have open arms for you. All right? Thank you for coming tonight here.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I think I speak on behalf of myself and the ex-chairman of the Park and Rec Advisory Board. Congrats and welcome to all of you, but specifically John Michael. He is somebody that grew up here in our neighborhood and now rose the ranks, and he's somebody that's looking after all of our neighborhood's kids. And I know that when we had people to look up to like that growing up, that they're still in our lives and they mean a lot to us, and he's doing that for our kids now. So thank you and congrats. Well deserved.
All righty. I don't want to move on, but I kind of have to, so let's go to the next item.
Item 7, report of the city attorney.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Mr. Commissioners. My report would be this. Number 1, the manager has kept me very busy. Number 2, I have met most of the new employees, and it's a pleasure working with them. I think that the work has been very fast and very efficient. We have had something that we have been working for quite a while, which is the property rights amendment, which I have been working with Chris Penelas, and the local planning agency just met a few minutes ago, and we'll have the report from the local planning agency. In addition, we just finished and filed today the answer brief for Bob Pelli, City of West Miami, against an appellant that went out to an appeal from a red light camera, which of course we need to, notwithstanding the fact that it's a minor infraction, we did need to respond to the appeal, and it's if you want to read it, it's quite extensive. So that'll be it.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for the attorney? And not about how many hours he's working? I don't. All right, next item.
Item 8, report of the city engineer.
I don't see him.
None this evening. Item 9, committee reports.
Anyone for committee reports? Go ahead.
So we held this past Thursday our sole purpose meeting with the Parks and Rec Advisory Board, as well as public involvement meetings. And as the manager explained or mentioned a moment ago, we were given the good news that the grant that we put in for at Cooper Park last year, we are receiving that grant. Our grant manager, Jenny Hall, who was just introduced to the citizens here, is doing a great job, and she actually came before us and explained that we're putting in another grant now. It's a $200,000 match grant, and it's gonna be for the baseball field, the clay, as well as the tennis courts, pickleball courts, a tot lot, and the lights, they go with those different facilities. And then there's also gonna be a grant put in similar to the one that we just got for the $50,000. It's not a match grant, and that's gonna be to widen the walkway at Cooper Park.
Okay. Anyone
you.
else for committee reports? I'll just say most of you were there, the event for the Back to School Bash. It came out really nice. More importantly, I think we're being generous in saying that we're being humble in saying we gave out 500 bags, but I want to say it was probably closer to 700 all in. To a lot of families were able to take advantage of that for the new school year, and then enjoy with the kids and enjoy the food and bounce houses and everything else. So thank you for all the staff that was participating in that and contributing to that, and to Commissioner Cabrera and School Member Colucci for their partnership on that event. Next item.
Item 10, unfinished business, none. And under new business agenda items, item 11A, second reading and public hearing. An ordinance of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami implementing a smoking ban in and around City of West Miami parks and facilities, providing for ordinances in conflict, codification, severability, and an effective date.
Okay, it's public hearing, right?
Yes.
Public hearing is
Yes,
now
Mr. Mayor.
open. Does anyone wish to speak on this item? Public hearing is now closed. Let's discuss. Anyone have discussion on this item?
Motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Blanca, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes,
5-0, item passes.
thank you.
Item 11B, this is a first reading, a first public hearing. An ordinance of the City of West Miami, Florida, amending the City of West Miami's comprehensive plan to add a property rights element as required by and in conformity with Section 163-3177, Parent 6, Florida statutes, providing for legislative findings and intent, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing for an effective date.
This is a public hearing. Public hearing is now open. Anyone wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, public hearing is now closed.
Motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Blanca, how do you
Yes.
vote? Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you.
Item C, first reading, an ordinance of the Mayor and the City Commission of the City of West Miami amending Article 1, Chapter 2, Section 2.6, Parent D of the Code of Ordinance of the City of West Miami to offer new employees of the City of West Miami all insurance benefits afforded to all other employees of the city, providing for ordinances in conflict, codification, severability, and an effective date.
Motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. This is first reading. Call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes,
5-0, item passes.
thank you. Next item.
Item D, public hearing. Property address 5739 Southwest 12th Street, West Miami, Florida 32144. Special use permit 2023-001. Applicants Odalis Martinez and Jose Rodriguez. Applicant requests a special use permit to build a two-story home on the property. The building, if allowed, would have 2,486 square feet of living area consisting of 3 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, with the balcony facing Southwest 12th Street. This property is an interior lot. Zoning ordinance 282, Section 281, Section 4.17.
If I'm not mistaken, we've been here before, right?
Yes, this is.
Okay.
Good evening,
Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners.
The applicant, Mr. Rodriguez and Mrs. Martinez, were here previously for a pool that they're building on the same property. Now the plans are ready for the construction of the house, and they're here to, as a formality because of the requirement of anytime you build a second story to be a special use permit. They meet all the terms of our ordinances. They had a first hearing at May 19th before the Planning and Zoning Board, and tonight they're here for final approval, if you so.
All right, should we open the public hearing?
Yes.
That's a public hearing.
The public hearing is now open.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioner.
You can
Here.
name and address to the record, please.
Yes, Jose Rodriguez, 5739 Southwest 12th Street.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Well, we are here to apply for a special permit to build a two-story house in the vacant land we have over there in 12th Street,
Would you-
58.
Would you get closer to the mic, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you're here to build a second story special use permit for the vacant property on 5739 Southwest 12th Street, correct?
That's correct.
And we already approved a variance, is it a variance?
Yes.
For hardship on the property for the pool, right? So we're just here for the second story because of our ordinance that requires us to come back for when you want to build a second story in the city. Does anyone have any questions or concerns for the applicant?
No. I have a commendation for you. It's a beautiful plan.
I tried.
Beautiful. Did you apply before for the pool? No. you
Yes.
were-
Yes.
Oh, you
Yes.
were. The pool, the permit was granted, right?
Remember, because this law is
Yeah,
small,
so,
it's very narrow, and we need to build.
So now it's coming the house.
Yes.
Mr. Penna, I was the zoning board. They approve unanimous?
Yes, unanimous.
Well, make a motion.
They have to.
Hold on.
Quick
Oh, I'm
question,
sorry.
the roof, is a flat roof?
Yes.
So-
It's a concrete.
Oh, concrete, yeah, so it's concrete, huh? That's great, great construction. I was gonna say, if you do a flat roof, make sure you insulate it, but
Yeah.
you're gonna have concrete, so on
Of
top,
course.
that's great, that's fantastic.
It will be 12 feet high. We need to, like a 1.5 for insulation.
Right, that's great.
All right.
Is there a motion?
Well, hold on, there's, we got the public hearing, and then we have the resolution. So, is anyone else for the public hearing? Anyone else for public hearing? Public hearing is now closed. Please read the resolution.
Yes, item 11E, resolution of Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami approving special use permit 2023-001 at 5739 Southwest 12th Street, West Miami, Florida, 32144. The property is currently zoned for R1 single family. Applicant is requesting to build a two-story house and in lieu of thereof requiring certain terms and conditions pursuant to zoning ordinance 282, section 2841.
Okay.
Make a
Motion.
motion.
Okay, wait, say that again. Who wants to make the motion?
You mean?
He had the motion. Who was second? Second by Commissioner Blanca.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Yes.
Second by Commissioner Blanca. Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm jealous.
Good luck in the house. Beautiful.
A concrete roof, that's great.
I tell you. Beautiful.
And next item, please.
Item F, this is a public hearing, a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida, amending Resolution 2021-40 by executing an interlocal agreement by and between the Citizens Independent Transportation Trust, CITT, and the City of West Miami, offering a new on-demand transit service to the citizens of West Miami, to be funded by surtax proceeds and grant by the State of Florida Department of Transportation, providing for an effective date.
So this is a public hearing. The public hearing is now open. Mr. Manager, you want to explain the item? Or Mr. Penna?
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Basically, we have an interlocal agreement with CITT for a fixed route system, which was the old jitney service that we had. Once COVID hit, we got rid of that service, and when we reestablished the service, we went to the on-demand with Freebie. That's what this cleans up. Our interlocal still says fixed route, and they wanted to say on-demand.
Okay. Anyone else for public hearing? Public hearing is now closed. You read the resolution already, right? So,
Yes.
right, anyone have on this item?
Motion.
We have a motion,
Second.
we have a second. Call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Blanca, how do you
Yes.
vote? Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Mayor, Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item G, a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida, instructing the city manager to execute any and all documents by and between Miami-Dade County and the City of West Miami of that certain amended and restated interlocal agreement as better described in the attached Exhibit A, reestablishing distribution of proceeds of the 6-cent local option gas tax for the 30-year period commencing January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2053, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. This is cleanup work from the county reestablishing its gas tax in order to access the funds that they are already collecting. We need to have an interlocal agreement signed. So
Motion.
we have a motion,
Second.
we have a second. Call the roll.
I have a
Oh,
question.
go ahead. Go ahead. If you can hold your motion.
This agreement for 30 years have nothing to do with the amount of money that is coming. The amount of money will be proportional, right?
Right, but
Every year.
what this agreement does is, because it had expired, the county's gas tax had expired, and they redid it now. But in order for us to access that money, we have to have this interlocal agreement
I
signed
just-
with the county.
I just want to make a clarification that the time have nothing to do with the amount of money.
No.
Because the amount of money will be prorated
Correct.
every year.
Correct.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Suarez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item H, resolution of Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami accepting the recommendation from the Office of the City Manager to renew the city's medical dental prescription vision care program for fiscal year commencing October 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2024 through the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust Program, providing for an effective date.
Motion.
Oh.
Second.
Okay. Is there anything on this, Mr. Manager, you want to add, or no?
On this one, no, it's the same insurance policy that we've had for the recent past. It's the same one. It's
Got it.
worked well, and it's within our budget.
All right, FMIT. All right, we have a motion and a second.
Yes, Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca? Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item I, resolution of Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami establishing one regularly scheduled commission meeting a month pursuant to City Charter, Article 1, Creation and Powers, Section 3.06, Procedure, Parent A, meetings, providing for the regular commission meeting to be held on the first Wednesday of the month, providing for holding special meetings when deemed necessary, providing for an effective date.
Motion.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Call the roll.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. We're already pretty much doing that in practice anyways. So, next item.
Item J, a resolution of the City of West Miami, Florida, authorizing the filing of a fiscal year 2024-2025 Florida Recreation Development Assistance Program for DAP grant as attachment A for West Miami Recreational Center and including the West Miami Recreational Center and Park Development Progress Project in its capital improvement plan for fiscal year 2023-2024 and providing for an effective date.
So what does this cover? For the record.
Mr. Mayor, for the record, this will cover basically at the recreational center, the baseball fields, a tot lot, the lights, the tennis, and the pickleball courts.
Thank you.
It's a matching grants, 200,000 plus our 200,000. It's basically what we lost in last session.
Okay. Anyone have any questions or comments? I know Commissioner Chavez, you reported on this earlier from the committee. Does anyone have any other questions or concerns on this item? Vice Mayor, want to make a motion?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Yes, Commissioner Blanca?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item K, a resolution of Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami authorizing the city manager to enter into a cooperative agreement with the City of Palmetto Bay, a political subdivision of the state of Florida, relating to the emergency debris removal and disposal pursuant to request for proposal RFP 1819-11-0108, awarding service contract to Bergeron Emergency Services, Inc., ZS Environmental Services, Inc., and SFM Services, Inc. to exigently request their services in case of dire emergency on necessitating immediate cleaning and restoration of services to protect the health and safety of the citizens, to be funded by the city and be reimbursed by the Federal Emergency Management Services, FEMA, providing for an effective date.
Okay. Any discussion on this item?
I think
Yes.
if I may clarify a few things that
Mhm.
I've been asked to clarify, Mayor. First of all, we need to get some cough drop medicine for our city clerk. I'm making her talk a whole lot now in these meetings that she never had to talk as much as if she is now. There are a couple ways that we can go and do debris cleanup here. What we're trying to do here is do a collaborative agreement and set a base price for debris removals based on another competitive bid from a sister city. That's giving us a base price per tonnage for us to be able to work. It was competitively bid. These companies have agreed to match these bids for our city and be able to do this in the case of a hurricane. The other alternative is the way that we've done it here in the past, which is you basically wait for the emergency, you do an emergency call, you get one bidder, one person that comes in, and they can do it that way. That is an acceptable method. However, the problem with that one is they're going to come in and give you the price of whatever's out there at that time. FEMA reserves the right to state the price that they're going to reimburse you on, not the price that you're paying. These numbers will always be lower when you do it before the hurricane than after a hurricane. And this is just due diligence on our end. Doesn't necessarily mean that we cannot go out and get an emergency price if need be, but at least we've set the bar as to what we're looking at to pay for in the future when if a hurricane hits. And heaven help us, I would hope that this is not the year that it happens.
SFM, is that the same company that does the landscaping, that has those large landscaping contracts? Yes. Yeah, they do a lot of government contracting, right? Yeah. Yeah, SFM Landscape. So, I'm not even sure this item really needs to come back here, to be honest with you, because this body, maybe a few months ago, in preparation for hurricane season, had authorized the city manager to get a debris removal contract in the books, and I don't think that happened, but we are in the peak of hurricane season, and the right time to do it would have been a couple months ago. The second best time would be now. So obviously I'd like to competitively bid them going forward, but we don't really have time for that this cycle. But this seems like a good stopgap. Does anyone have anything on this item?
Yeah, can I?
Yep, go ahead.
Well, when the manager called me to discuss about the agenda, I told that according with my experience in this town, in the years I have been here, I came to this country in 1961, so I've been through many hurricanes and many administrations and many things. And the problem with the debris and the garbage with the hurricane, if you, the city, you have some commitment with the company, that company, when a hurricane comes, they are going to be looking for another clients because they think they have you already tied to them. And then always this city has been, we open the bid, when a hurricane comes, all the companies come to South Florida, whatever is the hurricane, offering the services. And then we make an open bid, and whoever gives us the best price and the equipment they have. because FEMA, you have to have certified trucks. The trucks have to be the net weight in order to put the debris in a place. That place have to be certified by FEMA. And they give you a receipt, and you have to keep those receipts. Those receipts is what the FEMA is going to pay you. It happened in several storms here. And when you have that possibility open to get business with any company, it, to me, is more practical. It has been better than if you have already commitment with some companies. In this case, I warning you, and I told the manager, be careful with this, because then a hurricane comes, we have 3 companies, and then the companies have some kind of deal with us, and then we're tight. We cannot make business with a new company who comes. So I told Mr. Ed, the manager, my problem with this. Be sure that if this happens, we are not tied to certain companies, and we don't have freedom to negotiate with the best company who comes. That was my comment.
Thank you. Does anyone have any comments or motions on this item? Go ahead.
So you speak from experience, Commissioner Suarez, but the manager's stated now as well that this is giving us more options, so we can still do it how we're currently doing it, but this is giving us more options on the other side of it as well.
Well,
So
I tell you my concern, but you may have whatever opinion you may have. I just give you the concern to the table.
Thank you.
That's it.
Does anyone have any else comments or motions? Go ahead.
Yeah. I think that one concern that we should all have is the possibility of not being able to procure a company to do this. I think the way that's going to be done now, we have that possibility that we're not necessarily in a contractual position that we have to use their services. Is that right, Mr. Manager?
Yes, sir.
Right. So, I mean, this is like having another toolbox, another tool in a toolbox. You know, if you need it, you have it, and you use it. But if you open up your toolbox and you don't have it, then what do you do?
Right.
What we did the last hurricanes.
What, pick up
We
with
open bids?
pick up with our hands?
No.
Well,
open bids, and
the
the companies come.
but the possibility is always there that, you know, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if, I mean, you say that a lot of companies are going to come. What if they don't come?
Exactly.
What if they're busy somewhere else?
Mr. Blanes, if you have that opinion, it's okay with me. I just give you my concern.
It's
Don't-
a-
I don't
but
want to
it's
discuss
no,
with
no,
you.
But it's a possibility.
Listen.
It's a
Hold
possibility.
on. Hey, sorry. The commissioner is correct in the sense that he has his opinion, and he doesn't. You don't have to convince him in order to pass an item. So, while I will emphasize, is there any more comments or motions? I'm going to emphasize the motion part, because I don't want to spend too much time on this item.
Motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Commissioner Chavez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
No, I don't like this system.
Okay, Commissioner Blanca?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes?
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
4-1, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item L, a resolution of the mayor and the city commission of the city of West Miami waiving competitive bidding, authorizing the city manager to lease a 2023 Ram ProMaster 1500 cargo van from Enterprise Fleet Management for the facilities and maintenance department as a sole source provider, providing for a lease term of 36 months as attached herein as Exhibit A, providing for a monthly lease amount of $1,169.05, providing for funding from account 541801 Streets Capital Purchases, and providing for an effective date.
Mr. Manager?
Yes,
Anything on
this is a van that we need for our maintenance person, for him to be able to have his tools in a locked situation. Right now, he's using a pickup truck going around where he has to unload and load every single day, which is basically not a very effective way of going about it. This is a 3-year lease. And although I'm not a fan of sole source things, this is one this one is something that we need because we have a lot of work ahead of us and we have to get this resolved and get a cargo van used for our facilities and maintenance department as soon as possible.
I make a motion.
All right, you have a motion?
Second.
You have a second? Call the roll?
Commissioner Suarez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes.
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón.
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item?
Item M, a resolution of the Mayor and City Commission of the City of West Miami, Florida, amending Resolution 2022-70, approved and adopted on December 7, 2022, accepting the recommendation of the city manager to award RFP 2022-11-28-2022 to Homestead Concrete and Drainage to repair and replace the city's sidewalks in the amount of $103,415.19, exceeding the original contract in work performed or to be performed. The city commission authorized the city manager to execute any and all documents or contracts to compensate Homestead Concrete and Drainage an additional appropriation amount of $57,584.81 to complete the work contemplated in Resolution 2022-70, providing for an effective date.
Mayor and Commission, what's occurred here is that we had an estimated quantity scheduled from Homestead Pavement in the original approval, and we've exceeded that quantity. They've been given the go-ahead to go and do an additional work. It's work that's been completed. This is really a cleanup just to make sure that the authorization's there from this body for the extra work that has been done on the sidewalks, because the estimate and what was actually done don't quite match. Sidewalks are a tricky thing. You never know if, when you start down the street, you might be adding a little bit more because there's other sidewalk panels that are cracked or broken because of a tree root or whatever, and it's just exceeded the amount from the original estimated amount
So
quantity.
this is ratification of completed work.
That is correct, sir.
All right, anyone on this item?
Motion.
You have a motion?
Second.
We have a second. Call the roll?
Commissioner Chavez, how do you
Yes.
vote? Commissioner Suarez,
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blanes,
Yes.
Mayor Diaz-Padrón.
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Thank you.
Item N, report in reference to expiration of terms of Planning and Zoning Board members, Eugenio Gonzalez, Gilberto Gonzalez, and Diana Rio by City Clerk. And as you received a memorandum from my office in regards to the expiration of terms of the Planning and Zoning Board members, which are the names as I mentioned before. And at this point, you may reappoint the members, appoint new members, is up to your consideration at this moment.
Okay, so let's bring this for next agenda.
No, we can do it now, Thomas.
You may appoint or reappoint
Yeah, but
on this.
do you even know who's supposed to appoint for what position?
This,
I apologize.
On the rotation, do you have that rotation?
I do have, I provided you with the names, and as I said, their terms expired on June 30th, these 3 members, the other members expiring in 2024 and 2025. So this is a time to reappoint or appoint new members.
No, I understand that, but you know how we've been operating, and forgive me, I've never understood how the
but
rotation
this is
works.
part of the rotation, yes. yes, Mr. Mayor.
So who would be, I'm saying, I don't mean
Okay,
rotation of members, I mean
whose
rotation.
term is to appoint?
Correct.
Okay, yes. Last time, Mayor Rodriguez, Commissioner Blanca, and Mayor Rodriguez were the ones who appointed, and you as Mayor Diaz-Padrón appointed also. So it's entirely like, there is no order now to
Right.
appoint, since all of you
So-
appointed
so
as well.
That's why I'm saying, do you want to
Yes,
bring this
it's
back for
kind
next
of,
item, for next agenda, so we don't,
It's up
trip
to
over
you,
ourselves?
Mr. Mayor. If-
I don't think there's any problem with the people who are serving there, so there's no need to get anyone off. So why don't we just do it cleanly, bring it over next item, next agenda, and, try to get, I never understand how the rotation worked, maybe we can clean that up have a process, because it's not your fault, but there's no actual
No
process.
order, no
So
actual-
maybe we can clean that up, because we do have that problem for code enforcement as well and for other boards. So maybe we can actually establish a process and be the first appointments under that process going forward. So let's bring it back for the next agenda, and then we'll take over there.
Mr.
Mayor?
Penna?
No problem.
Mr. Mayor?
Yep.
The term has expired at this point. The
June
next
30th.
agenda would be subsequent to any meeting that the zoning board is going to have.
We have one this month, but that, we will call the 3 members that are still have good standing with their terms.
Okay, a suggestion would be if we do have.
Isn't there something in the ordinance, I apologize, isn't there something in the ordinance that says that they have a continuation of term if not reappointed? If not appointed or reappointed, something like that?
No, as the city clerk stated, you have the right to appoint new ones or reappoint but they don't say that you cannot reappoint them for a month and wait for the next commission meeting to appoint them permanently. That's why I asked Mr. Pena whether he would have a quorum if the term has expired.
Yeah, the reason I don't want to do the reappointment at this point is because we're appointed into a seat that I or I don't think anyone else asked the members if they even want to continue serving in.
I am
Right.
happy already.
Well, if you'd like to make your reappointment of your member, I mean, go for it. I mean, that's
I
not,
would like to reappoint Eugenio Gonzalez.
I mean,
Second,
let's just appoint it. If anyone's a good member, let's just appoint him unless there's not a problem, and then let's make sure that we go and actually solicit from the membership. But would that give quorum to the planning and zoning board? Okay.
All right,
So-
in favor of the reappointment by Commissioner Blanca?
Say aye.
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 Thank you, Commissioner. And then we'll bring back the other 2 for
The
Spanish Park.
remaining
Yeah.
members.
And let's try to work, I know that's a small task, but, you know, we only do it a couple times, but it is something that there's never been addressed, that there is no actual process. And you've been doing these spreadsheets, trying to come up with names on a rotation that makes sense, but people change out of positions. We don't have seat numbers. So there is a kind of a complication. So let's try to create a process to follow for future appointments. I'll work with you on that.
I'll make my best effort, yes.
Thank you. On the consent agenda items, Mr. Manager, are we gonna pull item B?
The CDBG one, yes, sir, we are. I was gonna make
Okay.
a request that you guys pull that one.
So, do we have a motion on consent agenda items with the amendment of removal of item B?
Motion.
We have a motion,
Second.
we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item,
That covers,
that recovers consent.
the agenda. Oh, would you like to, you would like to pull that item from the consent agenda?
No, we're pulling, we're removing it, we're removing it from the,
Okay, we
from
remove
the-
item B, and the rest of in favor of all the
Yeah,
other items. So-
I apologize. It wasn't a pull in the sense of taking out of, it was a removal. That's why I amended to remove item B,
Okay.
with the exception of item B.
Okay.
It was all passed.
Okay.
so you're good to go.
So all are in favor of the consent agenda items as it is, removing item B.
I'll reissue the motion.
Yeah, reissue, just do it for clarity, go.
I'll reissue my motion withdrawing item B from consent agenda.
Approving consent agenda
Approving.
items with the exception, we're moving
Of
item B. All right? Can we get the second again?
Second.
You got a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Beautiful. Nice and clean.
Item 13, good of the order.
Anyone for good of the order?
What about C?
Consent agenda.
Oh,
It's all
that's
consent.
okay. Yeah, I do have something.
Go for it.
For the good of the order. The last 2-3 meetings that we've had, the amount of items that we've had on the agenda is very telling of the work and the time of the effort that our new city manager has put in. It's been a long time since I've seen this much work being done. All this reflects on new and good and better things coming to the city. This takes a lot of planning, a lot of organizing, a lot of staffing, directing, and controlling. That's what a city manager is supposed to do. I know that I've tried to reach out to the city manager, and quite frankly, I haven't been able to get a hold of him because he's basically working. And I'm very happy, I'm very thankful, I'm very pleased that this is happening. I'm also very pleased that we're able to go after that $200,000 grant. I believe we have Jenny on board with us. And I'm very happy to have someone that has the experience and the caliber to be able to do these things for us. We never did. So this is like a breath of fresh air, and the city of West Miami residents are going to benefit immensely for this. I was very dismayed, very disappointed when we lost that $200,000 grant. I don't know why it happened, but it happened. So I'm very, very happy and thankful that we're proceeding this way. Mayor, I thank you for your leadership. And Mr. Manager, I thank you for your hard work, your effort, and my colleagues.
That's what I'm expecting.
We've always worked as a team, you know. We've had our discrepancies and our disagreements, but you know, we all have at heart what's best for the city of West Miami and its residents and its employees. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Thank you.
Anyone else for good of the order? You're not going to top that, so motion to, hold on,
I
go
do
ahead.
want to remind the mayor and the commission that we do have our first 25 mile per hour sign that we'll be putting up in the next day or so. It's just one for right now, but we are going through the bidding process to get the rest in.
Perfect. Thank you.
You have an item in the agenda.
No,
Let's, anyone have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.